All right. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening for the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences highlight. This webinar tonight is part of our Transfer to UC Davis series, where we highlight each of our undergraduate academic colleges here at UC Davis. Tonight's highlight is going to be on the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences, and I am being joined by my colleague Vanessa and some of our amazing student panelists. My name is Sheila Zhang, and I'm one of the assistant directors for the Transfer Opportunity Program with the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. We also have our transfer student outreach ambassadors who will be helping behind the scenes with the chat. If you do have any questions for tonight's webinar, please use the Q&A option or button down below to put your questions in here. We will have a panel with our students later on, so any questions that you may have regarding the college or for our students can be listed in the Q&A function below. Tonight's webinar is going to first go over the college highlights. In this section, you'll learn more about the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences, different programs and opportunities for students in this college. Then we will highlight our students from the College of Ag. There's going to be a Q&A as well, and then we will wrap up the webinar with admission requirements and resources that you can utilize to help you as you plan out your transfer process. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand the mic over to my colleague Vanessa to present on the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences.
All right. The slide is transitioning slowly on my side, but hi everyone, my name is Vanessa Talavera. I am the outreach coordinator for the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. I was a student here back in 2014 through 2018, and I did a major in human development, so still within the College of Ag. I guess I'm a part of a transfer family. Both of my brothers were transfer students, and then my older brother did tag into UC Davis as a history major. He's letters and sciences. We won't talk too much about him, but yeah, for the College of Ag, we're gonna dig into some of our resources and just some information about our majors. So we can go to the next slide. So when you come into our College of Ag family, it is a huge team that you'll be a part of. Essentially, we have our Dean's Office, which makes up a lot of our advisors, our Dean's Office advisors. I am also housed within the Dean's Office, and we also have like different event planners who put on a lot of different fun events. For example, today we had study break, which is basically, we are in finals week right now, so we gave away some like free testing materials and some free swag, also some snackies, because y'all, they're in a grind right now. All of my students, they're in finals week right now. So we basically try to support you as much as possible. And we do a lot of different quarterly events. We also have staff on our team that do community service projects. So we also try to go back into the community. So we also try to pair a lot of those academic and co-curricular activities within your journey here at UC Davis. Outside of the Dean's Office, we also have your major advisors. So whichever major that you choose, there's going to be an advisor for you there to help you with selecting courses, and as well as different GE requirements, and then anything you need to graduate. So yeah, we have a really big team. We also have peer advisors. We have our Aggie Jumpstart peer advisors. So a lot of different people to go to in case you're having any questions or just anything that you're lost or just wandering around. We can help you with that too. And we can go to the next slide. So amongst UC Davis, we're known for a lot of different things. A lot of folks come to us for our veterinary medicine. Also tied into that, we are #2 in the world for plant and animal sciences. We are also #1 in the nation for plant and animal sciences, as well as agriculture and forestry. So when you come to UC Davis, you're going to be amongst essentially the best in the world, the best in the nation. And we have all the different types of faculty that will be able to teach you all those different things. But then we're also excited for you to join us and kind of expand on that knowledge. So when you come here, there's going to be a lot of different courses for you to take, a lot of different opportunities. And we're really just excited for you to bring your expertise to UC Davis. And so hopefully you're choosing us or you've already applied. There's a lot of great opportunities here and a lot of great internships where folks look to us for our students. And so we also like to highlight that. I think the rankings also just came out again recently, and so we still are standing in these rankings too. So also just wanted to highlight that you're amongst the best in the world and the best in the nation when you come to UC Davis. And we can move to the next slide too. And I think, yes. So within the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, our majors are housed under kind of three divisions. The first one is going to be agricultural sciences. So that is in our name. We are, like I said, number one in the nation for agriculture. So that's going to be anything like our animal sciences, or animal biology. The differences between those is animal science is going to be more your livestock and production. Animal biology is a little bit similar, but more focused on like a research aspect. We also have wildlife, fish, and conservation biology, if that's a major that you're interested in. And then we also have things like entomology or agriculture and environmental technology. So that kind of goes in with both divisions. Speaking of environmental sciences, we have a lot of different majors with that too, like environmental toxicology, like I said, agriculture and environmental technology, agriculture and environmental education, of course, our animal and environmental science and management. So those are kind of what our majors are kind of most known for within our college. But the little sister of the group and also the division that I was in human and social sciences. I was a human development major when I was here. We have our Department of Human Ecology, so that is also where landscape architecture is held. It also has community and regional development. So just one or many of our 27 majors, but that is kind of how we are kind of housed within the college. And if we move to the next slide, the reason why we have these divisions is because we're really here to kind of solve problems. So anything at a global level, anything at the local level. So for instance, I just attended a workshop for our landscape architecture students, and they were doing a project with a local Sacramento high school. If you're familiar with the Sacramento area, they were in Grant Union High School, and they were doing some urban planning. They were kind of doing some redesigns of like their football stadium. So we really take anything from literally down the street or down the causeway to the global level, whether we're in like in Chile or South Africa, Argentina, kind of looking at different aspects of the world and our environment. So that's something that's really cool about UC Davis, is that we can really look at different facets of the world through our different 27 majors. And so we also have 39 different minors to choose from. If you look up UC Davis CAES brochure, you'll be able to see all of our different minors there. We have too many for me to memorize. And then there's a lot of different options there. I know a popular one is like soil science. That's what some people look forward to. And then also a lot of our majors have a minor with it. So even if you were looking into majoring in, let's say, environmental toxicology, but then you're like, oh, I'm also interested in animals. You can do an animal science minor. And then I think Sheila will probably also touch on this. When you come to UC Davis, you can tack on a minor. It's some majors can also tack on a double major, but definitely with the majors in our college, it is fairly easy to put on a minor, especially if you are coming for maybe 2 or 3 more years as a transfer student. We also have 381 faculty and then also 7,500 students. The College of Ag is the second largest college within UC Davis. College of Letters and Science is going to be the first, so all of those humanities courses. So we are the second largest college. And then we're also just like the largest UC by size. I think we have over 5,000 acres, and that's just for all of our farmland, all of our agriculture, all of our animals. So we need a lot of space in order to put all those different lovely animals everywhere. And then we're also a really big bike culture. And then so they'll probably also talk about that later in our presentation too. So definitely recommend bringing a bike when you come. That's the best way to get around our large campus. Thankfully, it is very flat, so you can get to different parts of campus very easily. And so going around to all these different majors, like I said, We have two that I want to highlight: agriculture and environmental technology. That is one major, and that is our newest major within the past like 5-ish years now. So it's a fairly new major and it is fastly growing, but really great if you're interested in AI or robotics or kind of just taking more of like an engineering side to agriculture. So really great for farming technology too. So one of our booming majors in the industry as well. Next is environmental toxicology. This is one of our smallest majors, but I think has a really huge impact in the world, especially if you're interested in like climate change or like pollution, anything like that. That is a really great major to do, and it is one of our smaller majors. And both of those majors do not have any selective requirements when you are doing the tag application. The ones that you're going to be looking for extra requirements are going to be our viticulture and enology major, our biotechnology major, managerial economics, and then as well as our landscape architecture program. So if you are looking into landscape architecture, that's going to be applied as a pre-landscape architecture major. And then within a year, you would then apply for the major itself. The reason because of that is because it's an accredited program. And so it does require an extra application once you're at UC Davis. But we can drop the information for that in the chat too, because it can be kind of confusing, especially for students that are coming in and have such a short amount of time. But yeah, just wanted to give information about that, and we can move to the next slide. Need to do one more. So we have a lot of different cool opportunities within the College of Ag that aren't offered within the other colleges. So if you have friends in letters and sciences, biological sciences, or in the School of Engineering, they're not going to have readily accessible to these opportunities, but you can always bring them along and kind of show them like what your cool college is doing. And so on the next slide, it'll show that we have a program called Aggie Jumpstart. Oh, just kidding. I'm skipping ahead on my own slides. So besides those cool opportunities within our college, we also have different internships that are specifically for our students. So when you come into your major, you will be put on like a major listserv, and they'll be able to send you different internships that they are receiving from industry partners or just from local areas where they're looking for interns and they know our UC Davis students are going to deliver. And so those are different internships that we have. I know when I was in my human development major, there was specific internships that were built into my major. So it really just kind of emphasizes how even though we're at a Research One university, we're still getting that hands-on experience. We're still going out within the community or going out into the world, whether it's through like study abroad opportunities or maybe just going into like for like a lot of our environmental policy majors, they go down to Sacramento to the Capitol. So there's that real life experience that you're getting as well as added to your co-curricular experience. And then all of our majors in the College of Ag are bachelors of science majors. And so a lot of them are going to require lab experience, which is really fun, especially if that is something that you are interested in. So like I know our biotechnology majors are in there. They're kind of doing different kind of things on the petri dishes. I'm not sure specifically because I was not in those classes, but a lot of great experiences that you will then take to any jobs that you do afterwards. And then there's also field trips. So field trips don't stop once you're out of high school or elementary school. I know within our college, like I said, we do a lot of community service projects. So that is one way to do kind of like a field trip. We also have our spring break trip that is coming up soon that is specifically for our College of Ag students. So that is something that you can do. I think they're going to, and someone correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, I think they're going to like Santa Cruz area this year. I could be totally wrong with that. But I know they've gone to Yosemite in the past, so a lot of different fun things that they do. And then also within your classes, they could probably take you on field trips. I know some will go to our student farm for some things. I know there's like a class that'll like have you go to the arboretum and take different pictures of plants. So a lot of different opportunities where you're not just like stuck in a 300-person lecture hall. There is within our college to go to different places on campus and just kind of explore around too. But next slide. And so these are the resources I was getting into. So for the first one is our career discovery group. So we do have our career center on campus, and we do partner with them to do either one-on-one advising. They also provide different workshops for us. And it's essentially a cohort of students that we put you in who are also trying to figure out what they're trying to do with their major. We also invite like different industry folks. And then there's also I believe like a presentation portion of it where they present like this is like what I found through the career discovery groups and this is what I've learned. So it's a great way to connect with students, especially since transfer students, you are coming in and you have a limited time. Career discovery groups, Aggie ambassadors, Manners, Aggie Jumpstart. These are all great ways to kind of get connected, get plugged in, but then also meet different people, meet some friends, and then also uh, meet different staff members who are maybe will give you a letter of recommendation or help you with grad school applications or maybe a job recommendation in the future. So these are all great opportunities within our college to get connected with folks right away. Like I said, Aggie ambassadors, we do have some Aggie ambassadors with us here today, so they can speak more about that. But essentially, it's sort of like Future Farmers of America, but at the college level, I like to think about it. But then it's also just folks within our college who really love doing outreach, leadership, and then also just helping us out for anything that we're doing. So it's a great way to get out there. We go to a lot of different outreach events, but then they also do a lot of community work too. And then Manners is sort of similar, but it is a multicultural organization, and I believe it's more nationally recognized. So they go to different conferences, and I think they kind of emphasize more of that professional development too. And then Aggie Jumpstart, that is a first gen underrepresented for low income students program. So they do take transfer students too. So I definitely recommend, I think they are opening up their applications here in the spring. So if you are coming to us here in the fall, definitely look at Aggie Jumpstart and applying. Again, it's a great way to get plugged into our college. We offer one-on-one advising directly with our dean's office. I know they have a lot of different fun events during the quarter, and they also give away like gift cards and stuff like that. So a great way to kind of get plugged in again, like I said, just because when you come into UC Davis, it is a huge campus. We're on a quarter system. Things move really, really fast. Aggie Jumpstart really kind of slows it down for you and kind of helps you out so you're not getting lost in the sauce. And then on top of that, we have 30 plus college affiliated organizations. So that's from pre-vet clubs, environmental science clubs, nutrition club, anything under our umbrella that are student-based organizations that are tied in with our college. So another great way to meet friends, study buddies, all of that great stuff. Highly recommend looking into those. And then I already mentioned our quarterly events, like we just had study break today, like I said, and then we also have some built-in counselors for like mental health resources. So we really want to take care of you when you come here. So we hope you tag to us, transfer to us, come see us in the dean's office. We can get you connected, even if you forgot anything in this presentation. But I am now a resource to you, and so will be these Aggie ambassadors. So happy to kind of share this information, and I can also drop my information in the chat if you have any questions further this presentation. But yeah, thank you so much, and hopefully you drop some questions in the Q&A so we can help you out. And I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Vanessa. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and segue into the student panel. I think my screen is frozen. Somebody let me know if we're on the student panel slide. Okay, it's working now, right? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and transition to our student panel. As Vanessa mentioned, please drop any questions that you have regarding the College of Ag in the Q&A, and any questions that you may have for our students in the Q&A as well. The Q&A is located at the bottom of your screen, so I'm gonna go ahead and allow our student panelists to go ahead and come on screen to introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Erica Tamers. I am a third year transfer student. I am majoring in animal science. I transferred from Santa Rosa Junior College. This is actually my second quarter in UC Davis. and I got involved with Aggie Ambassadors, which is why I'm talking to you now. And I chose UC Davis because it's honestly always been my dream school. But it's also been close to home, and it's one of the best schools for my major, and it has an absolutely beautiful campus. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Franco Munoz McHugh. I'm an animal science major, my third year here at Davis. I transferred from Woodland Community College and got involved in the Aggie Ambassadors club here, as well as the UC Davis Super Smash Bros. Melee Club. And I picked UC Davis because it was one of the best schools for my major for animal science, and it's pretty close to my home. And yeah, that's basically me.
Hi everyone, I'm Emiliano Alvarez. I'm a wildlife fish and conservation biology major here at Davis. I'm a second year. I'm a non-transfer student. I came to Davis out of high school, and on campus, I'm in the Aggie Ambassadors. I'm an officer. As excuse me, I'm an officer as well as being a part of the wildlife photography club. And I've done orientation. I did it this started this year, and I'm doing it again next year. And I chose Davis just because it was when I came to Toro, it was like a very welcoming community, and I saw that they offered like a lot of great facilities for the programs and programs for like major. I can't talk today. For my major and for the career path I want to do. Sorry about that.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashleen. I'm a fourth year biosci major and I've attended Davis all 4 years. I'm also part of Aggie Ambassadors and I chose Davis because it was my dream school. So yeah, I toured the campus when I was a junior in high school and I just fell in love with the campus and I knew I wanted to go here. And yeah, and I'm just really happy I chose this campus. It's really beautiful. There's a lot of amenities and just things to do. And yeah.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. We'll go ahead and start with our Q&A. So please do send in your questions using the Q&A button located at the bottom of your Zoom screen for any questions that you may have for our student ambassadors, Aggie ambassadors regarding their experience here at UC Davis, or just wanting to know about the UC Davis student life. So yes, please drop your questions down in the Q&A. I do have a question for our panelists. So how was your transition like from either the community college or high school to UC Davis? And anyone, whoever's ready can go ahead and answer the question.
I can give my experience. Um, I would say that my transition was kind of like coming out of high school. I'm from LA, so it was like I'd say it's a pretty decent distance, not as much as some other people, but I would say it was smooth for the most part with some bumps along the road. I mean, the quarter system is something that is always kind of emphasized when you're kind of coming to any quarter system school, especially Davis. So that kind of caught me off guard a little bit, but once you kind of catch a rhythm, you can really come to appreciate the quarter system. For me, like I really do like love my major, but I've also kind of come to love a lot of other classes and like a lot of other aspects that Davis can teach you about. It's like all the anthropology classes, I find those really interesting. So having like opportunities to pursue stuff that like I'm interested in for my career, but also that I'm just interested in, and having more opportunities to do that through the quarter system, is something that you don't really get at semester system schools that I think made me feel a little more comfortable because I felt like I was really able to kind of experience everything I wanted to experience.
Thank you so much, Emiliano. Erica, Franco, Ashleen, how were your transitions?
Mine was pretty like it was pretty like not gonna lie, like pretty rough. I wasn't really ready for the quarter system from semester system change. it goes by like really, really quickly, especially for your first couple classes if they are like STEM oriented, as a lot of like the first transfer classes are probably going to be. Um, they can be pretty hard to get a grapple on at first, but like Emiliano said, like once you take a quarter, like once you take your fall quarter, you kind of understand the rhythm that is the UC Davis like quarter system. And so like don't feel discouraged if like in your fall quarter you might not be getting like the grades you usually get, or like you not be like might not be getting like the places that you usually are, because it is really tough and it is a really tough transition. But I think through that, like you'll learn how you work in a quarter system and like what study sessions work for you. I highly recommend when you if you do transfer over to here, our library is a really, really good resource to use. We have a really great like peer study system built into our library that and like I think everyone should utilize, especially like first years or first year transfers, because it definitely helps with the whole transition.
So I'm going to go off of what Franco said. Um, Basically, it was a really hard transition for me as well. Just going from like semester system to quarter system and just kind of going into Davis expecting that my old study methods were going to be just as good in the quarter system. And I was proved wrong by that. But it definitely is difficult, but you can do it. And you will get into the rhythm of everything, just like everyone else said, and eventually you'll get the hang of it and it'll get easier with time.
For me, so I'm also graduating next quarter and everything, and I feel like I've experienced all the highs and lows of Davis. When I first entered my first quarter, I just knew like I just didn't belong here. Like I felt like I didn't belong here. Like I feel like everyone was smarter than me. The quarter system was just something that like I thought was too much. It felt very overwhelming. But honestly, like everyone else is saying that it does take time to adjust and you kind of have to like trust in yourself and like try not to compare yourself to others. I think that's like the biggest thing I've learned was you're not like everyone else. You're yourself. You're going to be your biggest critic and two things like that. So I just think take everything one day at a time, take everything one midterm, one final at a time. Don't try to like think of everything all at once because when you just do that, you're stressing yourself out. So yeah, I mean, I believe in everyone. I just think just take your time and everything will be okay in the end.
All right, thank you so much. There was a question in the chat regarding housing. Do you guys live on campus or off campus? And do you have a recommendation or preference?
Yeah, I can answer that first. I lived on campus. I lived in a dorms during my first year, and after my first year, I lived in my apartment that I've been staying at the last 3 years. Personally, I preferred living off campus than on campus just because to me, living off campus, I also live with my friends. So, like, that's obviously a plus. And I think if you live with the right people and everything, like, you kind of have the same type of schedule, you have the same type of, like, I guess, like cleaning habits and just things like that. And for me, the dorms, I just personally didn't like a lot of like the community based like showers or just things like that. For me, I just wasn't entirely comfortable with that. So I definitely preferred off campus living.
Um, I've have friends who have transferred in or friends and acquaintances that I've met that have transferred in, and some have kind of transferred in immediately going off campus housing, and others have transferred in and kind of did the green, which is kind of like the offered like dorm or student housing for transfers. And I think it really just depends on the kind of person you are and like what you prefer. If you kind of want something that is going to ease you into it a little more and kind of help you, I think the green is good. It's very convenient. When I refer to the green, it's just the dorms. Um, I think it's very convenient. And if you like kind of need that help and that boost and kind of that emphasis on being people who are most likely as well transfers or some transfers around you as well, it's a really good opportunity. It's a little simpler. But if you are kind of a more independent person or someone who kind of wants to enjoy the outside and have their own space or space more kind of unique to them, I would encourage kind of going off campus because I've seen both sides and I've seen both of them enjoy the option. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think it kind of just relies on who you are as a person. But there are a lot of good off-campus kind of housing options as well. What I've kind of seen is like if you really kind of just look and find five, maybe five places or three places and tour them, chances are you're going to be happy with at least one of them.
Thank you so much, Emiliano. There was a follow-up regarding housing. So what was the process like for those of you who, are living off campus? How did you find off-campus housing? Was it difficult?
With me, I never went into the dorms. I just went straight into off-campus housing when I first moved to Davis. With me, it was a lot of just like kind of reaching out. There are a lot of Facebook groups that have to do with housing. That is usually like the primary source that people find roommates or people looking for roommates go to. So, any UC Davis housing Facebook groups are a really good start, as well as just searching up like UC Davis apartments and like going to apartments.com and just searching up like Davis is a really good start to figure out like what the price ranges are for apartments. And then like especially if like you want to like if you don't know people that like you want to move in with, the Facebook groups can be a really great resource for you because there are so many people like all year round looking for roommates. And so you can just always like I found my roommates for my first year through those Facebook groups. So yeah, and there's a bunch. So I'm sure if y'all want to go directly into off-campus housing with roommates, you can definitely do that on your own.
All right, thank you so much. So there's a question in the Q&A regarding campus. You guys have mentioned the campus was beautiful. Can you please speak more on that? What are your favorite parts about the campus? And
For
we'll
me,
go.
sorry. Yeah, for me, I really enjoy the sunsets in Davis. I think we have one of like the best sunsets. I might be biased, but I think they're really pretty. The Arboretum is a really beautiful like little pathway we have. It's like a little creek and there's a lot of seating areas. You can see like there's little like exhibit I don't want to say exhibits, but I guess exhibits like we have like redwood trees that you won't normally find in this area, which is I think is really cool that we're, through our agricultural program, we're able to like maintain these plants that are not in their typical environment. So I think, especially during my first year, I would go to the Arboretum a lot and just like kind of sit, relax. There's also like places like the silo. There's like, they have like food trucks and like other little like little restaurants, like there's Spokes, and then there's Gun Rock. And there's the MU quad as well. You'll see like a bunch of people, especially now that it's getting sunny, just outside hanging out, playing spike ball, playing frisbee, or just doing things like that, sitting on the hammock. So I just think those little areas and just that kind of like community vibe is just really there when you come to Davis.
Um, Personally, I would say kind of my favorite part of like the campus and the way it looks and feels is just kind of like the seamlessness where that environmental aspect, but also like modern kind of like architecture aspect. I think all the buildings look really nice. Most of them are pretty like modern, up to date. Obviously, we're an older campus, so you can see that sometimes. But if you like really, there's had only good experiences with the architecture. But it's what I like to see is just kind of how they implement kind of environmental aspects into that, whether it be like little nooks and crannies, like by the teaching learning center. There's this little like almost like hidden away grove with one wooden bench and a couple trees and like a lawn that's really small and hidden, but it's like you're still super close to everything, but you really feel like you're kind of in a very like nature kind of orientated place. And I like how much you can like kind of seamlessly transition from one to the other. I mean, the arboretum kind of transitions into certain buildings on campus. Like you barely even notice that you're leaving one or the other. Um, and I think that's really nice, but it also makes sense, with such a nice and good landscape architecture like program that we have. Like I've heard from my roommates and my friends, I have multiple in the major, that the campus shows it off really well and kind of implements also the students. I know recently they opened like a new kind of little bench that was designed by a student and little area for studying. But yeah, I just like the seamlessness of everything.
Franco, Erica, would you guys like to add to that? What is your favorite spot on campus?
I would say that the Arboretum would probably be my favorite spot. I've walked through it several times and it's just really pretty. And I know everyone talks about it, but it is really a nice space to be, just to take a walk or just, sit down and like have a snack or something. But all of campus is honestly just really pretty and it's nice just to hang out outside with other people, just doing your thing, maybe studying, relaxing, reading a book.
I would also agree the Arboretum is really, really cool and really fun. It's just really like calming place and has a lot of cool just different types of like ecology there that's like being pretty well preserved, which is really interesting. And you can learn some things about some plants with a bunch of signs that we have up. And so yeah, it's really cool and I don't go to it nearly enough as I should.
All right, thank you all. Another question in the chat. Is it feasible to work part-time while doing school on the quarter system? Anyone can answer this one.
I would say it's more than feasible. I mean I know I feel like most of the people I know kind of works in some way or trying to find a way to work in some way. Personally, this past quarter I just worked 12 hours a week at the avian facility, here on campus working with the chickens and the birds that we have. And I never really feel like it kind of messed up my schedule or anything like that, or messed with me and kind of threw me off my game, especially because as a student worker, especially if you're a part-time worker, with whether it be on the campus, whether it be in your major, just like someone at the market, the school works very hard to kind of be flexible to your schedule. So you're never really kind of like overexerting yourself, or you have control over like how much you're putting into it and how much you're getting out of it. Um, because of how like understanding they are, that at the end of the day, we're all students, and that's what comes first in our own lives. And a lot of the staff and a lot of the different employers on campus understand that that's the most important thing. So whether it be like something physically taxing, like what I work, or something simpler, part-time is definitely easy to do. I mean, I know people who work part-time up to like 15 hours a week, but that's a little on the higher side. But even like 12, 10, even just some people work just 6, like whatever works for you, it's definitely possible.
I also work part-time for some time, like 2 years, and I definitely say it is feasible. A lot of the places in Davis, I worked off campus, I worked at Chipotle, they're very understanding that like, they know we're all students and everything, so they're very accommodating to your schedule. And there's also a lot of jobs and opportunities like on campus. Like two of my roommates, they work on campus and they're very accommodating to their schedules and like will like schedule you around your like based on your class schedule and like yeah, they work around like from like 10 to 15 hours on the higher end and you're able to balance it again like I think as Milo said it's like it's up to your it's up to what you're comfortable with. Like I would honestly work like 10 hours, 12 hours max and my workplace was very accommodating and understanding of that.
Yeah, I work at Pete's Coffee right now. And this has been my first off-campus job. And they're very, very accommodating. Like it feels like a lot of the off-campus jobs understand that a lot of their workforce is at school, and so they're okay with your schedule changing from quarter to quarter. Like most people, at least in my experience, most managers like know that's going to happen, and as long as you communicate that to them, they're most definitely going to be fine with it. I will say, um, at least in my at my workplace at Pete's, it's very hard to get a position once school is in session. I would recommend if you're if you know you are gonna want to start working as soon as you get into Davis, or that's maybe like a necessity for you. I definitely start job searching and job interviewing during the summer if you can, like around August or September. That's like the prime months, because once school starts to get into session, it's very, very hard, at least at Pete's Coffee, to find to get jobs, because a lot of the availability is very already filled up, and then it disappears basically in the summer once a lot of the students leave.
It is definitely doable to work part-time. And employers are usually very flexible and able to accommodate your schedule. And since school kind of does come first, they understand that, and it's great to just have a little job on the side if you want to make some extra money or if you have to. So, yeah.
All right, thank you all. I know we talked a little bit earlier about like how your transition was to Davis. But for you guys, just a follow up, how was it? How was it like to, like make friends or find your community at UC Davis? What was that process like, for you to, make friends and find your community?
For me, I met my really close friends through orientation. Orientation day, like the people I met now are the people I live with, which I think it's like really cool. Like we've been together for the past 4 years. I think I know there's also like a orientation for transfers as well. And one of my roommates, he's a transfer student, and I like he was telling me that one of his regrets was not going to that. So I definitely think that like opportunities like orientation day is really important. Like you can establish a community there, and also like there's like Facebook groups and there's like Instagram groups where you can like go and like meet other people. Like I don't know if this is like still a thing, but like each class would have like an Instagram page where you can like introduce yourself. And that's where I also like would follow a bunch of people on there. And another thing is like honestly just putting yourself out there, like talk to people. Like you should never feel intimidated like when you have classes to like not talk to people because everyone's in the same boat as you. Like everyone like wants a friend, everyone wants a study buddy. So I think it's also just like getting out of your comfort zone and just introducing yourself to people. Like there's no harm in that.
Something that Ashleen said that I want to jump off of is just like go to orientation, like do it. I know it's like it's not mandatory and they tell you it's not mandatory and it seems like a long day and it seems like it might be super tiring, but I always say like what's 3 days of tiring for information that'll make your quarter and future quarters like a lot smoother and a lot better and open you to more resources and help you meet people. One of my good friends at here at Davis I met when I was a freshman in orientation. Another one of my good friends I met as an orientation leader. She was in my group. So you meet a lot of good people. That was just a little tidbit, but there are plenty of different like opportunities to meet people. Another great thing Ashleen said was just like don't be afraid to talk to people. You're all in the same boat, and it's true. Like everyone is trying to make friends for the most part. Everyone is kind of a little nervous and unsure of what's going on with such a big campus and so much going on. But like just talk to people. It'll go well. It'll go in your favor. Alongside plenty of clubs, I want to say don't quote me on it, but I want to say there's over 400 clubs with different things. I mean, I'm in the wildlife photography club. I know Franco mentioned that he's in a club. There's plenty of clubs, whether it be like something business related or something game related, or you can get your scuba license through a club here. There's so many ways to meet people.
Yeah, I met all of my current roommates through a club that I now help run. Oh, sorry, that's my dog. Um, and so I would recommend joining clubs, as well as like as Ashley and Emiliano said, putting yourself out there. Don't if you're fully new to Davis and you don't have any friends there, don't be afraid to sit in the first row. of classes. Like those are going to be like where like a lot of people who are like looking for like are like more receptive to, at least in my experience, are more receptive to like studying after class and like exchanging it, and like a lot of classes will like help facilitate like meeting people in class through like uh, talking with them like during like having like a break during lecture to like talk with people about a subject we're talking about. And I found that a lot of like the further you sit back in class, like the less engaged and like open people are to just like talking even about the class you're in. And I've met a lot of good friends just from doing that and like being, really receptive to uh meeting new people during class. And so even if you don't want to join clubs, or you don't want to go to orientation for whatever reasons, you can definitely meet a lot of like really good and really cool people in your classes as well.
So I live off of campus and I commute, and so I'm not like really involved on campus. I'm not really there all the time, but definitely number one way to meet people is in class. And I found that like group projects or in lab really get you talking to people. And I've made a few friends in like smaller classes or in labs. And it's just, talking about something other than the subject material every now and then. And, you just get acquainted with your peers.
Thank you all so much. One question in the chat asked about academic advising. When did you guys do your first academic advising after transferring? So this one will be for Erica and Franco. So when did you do your first academic advising after transferring, and how did it help with determining your courses?
Yeah, I think I did it maybe even before I started any classes at Davis. I did it, I think maybe like the month before Davis started, so like around August. And it really helped me. It helped me so much. Especially like that first visit, they kind of help you if you want to like plan out not just like what courses you're going to be taking like that quarter, but also what course you're going to be taking throughout the year, and then like throughout like your next 2 or 3 years that you're going to be at Davis. And it's really nice to just check back in at least once a quarter, maybe more if you want to like talk about certain things. They're a really good resource for figuring out who to talk to if you have questions. I know I had a lot of questions about getting into lab here at Davis, and like who to talk to, how do I do that? And they're a really, really good resource because they'll give you like very specific people to go talk to, like very specific professors that you might not even have a class with, but they're like, here's their office, here's when they're going to be in their office. If they're in their office, go say hi and talk to them. So they'd help me so much, and it continues to help me. And so I would definitely recommend do like seeing your academic advisor more often. And also we have a bunch of academic advisors, from peer advisors to staff advisors. And I would also recommend kind of maybe like sticking to one instead of trying to like find the one with the nearest availability, because then you can really build a relationship with that person, and like they'll understand you better, and so you don't have to like keep re-explaining a lot of things. And so that's what helped me as well in my experience.
I went to an advisor, I think, shortly before I started my classes, just to get an overview of what I should take the quarter going into it and kind of the outlook for the rest of my quarters. That was extremely helpful to kind of see how I would be set up for the rest of my time here at Davis, and also to prepare myself in like what I should be like learning and going on to, and just planning everything out, and going to um, just regular advisors instead of just major advisors. They are extremely helpful. I think I've gone to an advisor at least once, if not twice, every quarter, just to kind of see where I'm going, see where I'm at, and like what I should do next. And it's just been extremely helpful, and definitely sticking to one advisor who you can get to know and they can get to know you is extremely helpful for both you and the advisor.
Thank you, Franco and Erica. There's one more question that I want to follow up with is, were there any specific GE or community college classes that helped you transition better into the College of Ag?
At least with me, I took a lot of just like normal GE classes at my community college, Woodland Community College. But the one that helped me a lot that they offered was a like really like pretty easy like 1 credit class that just taught you research techniques that helped me a lot, especially in not even just like my STEM courses, but also some of like my English courses where like I have to do research. It really helped me like understand what college level like what like college level research wants you to do, and gave me like a bunch of really good ways to learn how to do it. And so anything like that that you can take that is like a like intro to research, or like some sort of like easy like research technique classes, I'd highly recommend taking.
I would definitely recommend doing English classes. I have found that a lot of classes here are very much like writing based, so a lot of assignments are like essays or papers about what you're learning about. And I completed my whole IGETC before going to Davis, but I kind of regret not taking more like science-based classes or math-based classes to kind of get a good basis on those before transferring and having a shorter amount of time to do them.
All right, thank you so much. So we are going to transition over to the admissions and resources section in just a couple of seconds here since we are at time. But for everyone on the panel, what is one, I guess, what are words of wisdom or advice that you would like to share for students who are looking to apply or transfer to UC Davis?
I think my kind of biggest words of wisdom, no, beyond Davis, but I mean within Davis, but even like just in general, is kind of just to follow your passion. Like I would say the people that I see that are the happiest and the most fulfilled at Davis are people who are like truly following the major that they want to do, their career that they want to do, or what they're super interested in, or even beyond like what they're super interested in. People that are like really heavily pursuing clubs and stuff and kind of communities on campus are some of the people that I really see, excuse me, enjoying themselves the most. So I would say like as much as like there's a lot of things and outside pressures that come into deciding what you want to do at school and like what you want to study, I will say following your passion is always like my number one advice to anyone I meet. And yeah.
I would say that just keep on persevering through school. Like if something gets hard, just keep on trying and trying again until you get it right, because sometimes you're going to fail, but it's better to push through.
I would say that, like Erica said, like it's okay. I think it's also like it's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes, you know. Your mistakes don't define you. And like, you know, if you do bad on one midterm and you know, it's not the end of the world. Just you gotta keep trying, you gotta keep working hard and just know that everything will be okay at the end of the day. And I think another thing is like make sure you have like a student life, like a student and social balance. Like, you know, like your life is not should not be consumed about Davis and like, you know, your freaking your like your chemistry class. It shouldn't just be focused on like, oh, I need to do chemistry, I need to do chemistry. Like, no, take a break, go enjoy Davis, go enjoy downtown, and like just go socialize with people. I think it's really important to like have some sort of balance between your student life and your personal life.
Sorry if my dog barks. But I think what going off of what Ashleen's saying, it's very important to enjoy your time at Davis. I know a lot of people who like take like 18 credits a quarter, and like they're like super stressed out all the time, and like they're like, yeah, like I study like 10 hours a week for just one of my classes, and I'm like, that's crazy. I could never do that, because it's very important of me to like be able to like socialize, and like I think that's a very, very important part, because even though I think like UC Davis and like the UC system is like whoa, it's like it's like it's gonna be like super hard, and like I need to put like all of my time and effort into school. It's also important that these are like like a lot of like formative years of our lives, and to be able to like create memories and like cool experiences and to meet cool people is also very important to the college experience. It's not just about like getting good grades and like you know getting good grades and like getting that like degree at the end of like the 2 or 4 years that you're here. It's also like who you meet, because like those people might have connections, and if you're not meeting anyone and you have like a degree, then you don't really have anyone that you can like go and talk to. So kind of my whole thing is like, school is very important, and like, the the classes are important, but the people you meet here are almost as important, if not more, in my opinion, as well.
And then I'll just add on to, I feel like one thing that transfer students kind of forget is that you can do research when you come to UC Davis. So if you're really into your major, or you're just like really interested in what your faculty is talking about, I highly recommend doing research. Go visit our undergraduate research center. They have peer advisors there that can help you like figure out how to talk to professors, what research looks like. And then they also have built-in research programs that are for students like you. And so I know my brother did murals when he came here, and that really got him connected with like campus. I did McNair, and they also accept transfer students. So if you're looking to go to grad school, it also just looks great on your resume, on your CV. So if your grad school is not your path, but you want to bulk up your resume, highly recommend going to the URC, the undergraduate.
All right, thank you everyone so much for your advice and your words of wisdom. We're going to quickly wrap this up with the admissions and resources slides here, and we'll be dropping some links in the chat as well. Now, if you're preparing for transfer and kind of like wondering, how to begin or where to begin, we kind of broke it down here. For many of you who are transferring, when you're thinking about how do you organize all of these requirements and how do you plan it, first start by considering the UC transfer admission requirements, right? Like you want to make sure you're having the minimum UC requirements completed if you are applying to any UC in the system. The next question you should be also asking is my major selective? Depending on the major that you're choosing at a UC campus, are you required to have certain GPAs or courses that you want to complete? Depending on whether your major is selective or not, that will indicate whether or not you have additional required courses, or if you're just needing to complete the minimum UC requirements. Next, after you're kind of already figured out whether your major is selective or not, is my major available for tag? There's something known as the transfer admission guarantee, or the tag that's available to transfer students. There are 6 UC campuses that offer a tag. So UCLA, UC Berkeley, and UC San Diego are not part of the tag, but the other 6 campuses are. If your major is available to tag, it is an admission guarantee conditional upon you meeting the requirements. It's completely free. So for those of you who are going to be applying to UC, definitely check out, the campuses to see if you can tag, because if you can tag, it's a guaranteed spot so long as you're meeting the requirements. And it's one less thing for you to worry about, right? Once you submit the tag, if it's been approved, you know that you have a spot on a UC campus. If you're interested in coming to UC Davis, we do have the Transfer Opportunity Program currently, partnering with 42 community colleges throughout the state. The top program is here to help ensure that students who want to transfer to a UC are prepared and have the resources and tools. We have one-on-one appointments, virtual workshops, summer programs as well. We'll drop a link in the chat for the top website, but definitely reach out if your school is part of a top school. If your school is not part of the top school, we also have advisors throughout the state. We'll drop the Find My Advisor link in just a second here, but do reach out if you are planning to transfer and need help with determining whether you have the right courses, or if you want to go over an assist agreement or find out, just which courses you might need for your major. And then just some really general transfer resources. Assist.org. This is a great resource for those of you who are wanting to know whether or not you have certain requirements to meet for your major, or if you just want to find courses that transfer to the UC. There's something called the TAP. TAP is a tool that we utilize a lot, especially for our appointments. So if you are planning to transfer, do create a TAP account. This is where you will put all of your coursework. We'll be able to take a look at it for appointments. And we also invite students to events and opportunities to come to campus through the TAP tool. There's AP and IB charts at each UC. If you have AP or IB exams that you've taken as a high school student that you want to receive credit for, definitely check out the AP and IB charts at each UC school to see what you'll be awarded credit for. And then last but not least, don't forget to check out your community college transfer centers. There are a lot of resources available for you at your community college as well. If you're not really sure where to start at the transfer center to get help with anything that you might need, if it's transferring or trying to figure out how to enroll for your courses at the transfer center. And then last but not least, some UC Davis resources. If you want to visit in person, online, or take a virtual tour, we've got links here. We do have a UC Davis admissions blog where many of our students and resources on campus share their stories and experiences. If you're not sure what you can do with your major, we also have a blog for that as well. And then if you are parents or families of students who will be attending UC Davis, we have a UC Davis website for parents. And then last but not least, thank you all so much. And a big shout out to, Vanessa, Ashleen, Erica, Emiliano, Franco, and Mallory, and Wenjo, who were behind the scenes. Just thank you to everyone who were part of the webinar. And thank you all for participating and joining this webinar and spending an hour of your evening with us. Do stay connected with the top team. We have our email, social media handles, and the QR link to our website. So thank you all so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at many more of our webinars happening this spring. Have a good evening.